right. I would like to say that I am going to uphold the Planning Commission's denial of the project. I feel bad about doing that. There's been a tremendous amount of money, time, and energy invested in this project. I understand that. However, I do agree with the Planning Commission's points that they brought forward. I don't want to rehash those. My three issues are very simple. I also heard this project as a planning commissioner with Fieldstone. Some new things that came up this time, but one thing is the open space that no one will take responsibility for. I'm sorry, but in responsibility to my city, I cannot condition something that maybe might happen in the future. It's just too much property. It's 1/3 of the project. It's 50 acres. Even if you had some sort of letter of intent, but there's nothing. Nothing has been presented to us. So I just can't take that responsibility and pass it on to others. It's a creek. It's in bad shape. It's dangerous. It's right in front of Mayberry Ranch. It's next door to other development. It's across from other development. It needs work. I cannot condition that, hoping that someone will take it on at a later time. That's my biggest problem with the property. Second is that it may not be in a floodplain, but I would refute that as well. If that water can get all the way to City Hall, I'm not figuring out why it can't go on that property. That creek cannot hold a flood that's going to get to City Hall. I was here in '69 with those big rains. My husband worked for the Edison. He was out for 5 days straight working, trying to put up poles that had fallen down in the Santiago Creek, upstream from where the project we're talking about. I've seen it flooded. I've seen the water up to the top of Hart Park channels in that rain. And I know that it can happen. It may not be officially in the flood area. It's still in the dam inundation area, and that hasn't changed. Those are not things that are made up or anybody has to take responsibility for. It's in a floodplain, maybe, and it's definitely in a dam inundation area. Thirdly, I've heard it many times that it is so risky to buy property without entitlements. And I've sat in on many projects here, many projects. And when you don't get your entitlements first, really, you are at risk. Your money, your time, your efforts, your developers, everybody is at risk if you don't have that in place for escrow. Fieldstone got out of it because they had it, their escrow was dependent on their entitlements. They didn't get them. They left the project. This piece of property, really the last open space in Orange, has so much potential, but it's risky. It's very risky given its positioning along the creek, next to the dam, methane gas next to it. I just can't go forward with it, so I will vote to uphold the Planning Commission's denial of the subject application.